Okay, so our final assignment is going to be a link to a game, and you're going to need to know how to do certain things. The link will go to this page right here, Universe and More. It should go on the page that you need, so all you'll have to do is click down here. It'll actually say click here, but if you get lost and accidentally click on something, go to Graphing Games, then click right here. Like I said, it'll say click here. That will bring you to this page. This is the graphing game that we're going to be playing. And there's going to be 3 different worlds that we're going to look at. So hit play, and it will first bring you to World 1. World 1, as you can see, is made up of 3 different lines of or rows of challenges, but you have to beat the one before it to get to the next one. Notice, though, that the beginning of each row is already open. That's because they get harder as they go through, and if you get stuck somewhere in here, so let's say you get stuck on this one, you don't have to finish all the rest of them to still try out some of the more difficult ones down here. You can start back here and go on, okay? But there is a stipulation to that. Because I want to see some work from you, I'm hoping that everyone can get to at least this 3rd row here, or 3rd column. Well, I guess it's the 4th column, but about halfway across each one of them. Do your best to get all the way there. If it looks like you're barely trying, I'm going to have a problem. So as you win, you'll get a star in these, and it'll go on. If you get too stuck, then just move down here to the next row and play across until you can get there. Once you have these filled up, you can then do a screenshot, and that's what you're going to use to upload. So again, just so we can clarify, these are open. Your goal, and that one doesn't show up too well. Your goal is to get here. So this is your goal. And then I'll give extra credit if you can beat all of the world. That should include all of those, because that means you're getting the maximum number of stars. But if you have just all of the rows completed with a star on each, I'll still give it to you, okay? So you're going to do that for World 1. And then the same thing for World 2. You're going to have to play World 2 as well. It gets a little bit more challenging in World 2. Again, though, you have a freebie for the first one, so you can at least attempt every row. Our goal is going to be to get right here. So this is our goal. Well, help if I could spell. There we go. Goal. And then you get extra credit if you can get extra. Now, I'm only requiring the first 2 worlds, and that's what you're going to upload for your assignment. And it'll say that, well, it'll have this video again in that assignment. World 3 here, this is all extra credit. So if you're hating this game, don't worry about that, but this is a way for you to get extra credit. Okay? Now, on each one, if you look at this, it's going to have instructions. I have so many kids go ahead and click through this, press the button, now I can do stuff, and they have no idea what they're doing. It explains everything you need, so watch the instructions, okay? It's based off of a graph. Notice position versus, it says clock reading, but it's position versus time. It's in seconds, meters and seconds. And you're going to be moving this fun little thing, so it'll show you the motion, and you get to put in some different data points like initial position and initial velocity. Here's an example of one that I went ahead and started. So this is the very first board. I had to move the initial position because I saw over here that it was starting, that blue line was what we're trying to trace, starting at 3 meters. So I put it to 3 meters. It's a straight line, horizontal line, which means it's 0 velocity, no slope. So I'm put 0 slope, then I hit the ready, and it runs, and then it does a check to make sure I stayed within the blue line, and if I get it right, it says you move, and you can move on to the next one. Some of them, as they get more difficult, you're going to need to put these little points down. You have to click on it. It doesn't do this for you. But notice how it will give you individual points on your line so you can calculate slopes for what you need. So in this one, my initial position is still 3, so I'd still want it, or it's on the 0, so I'd want it on the 0. But then I need to figure out what kind of slope this is. Is it positive? Is it negative? And how much it's moving. So I'm going to measure that rise over run, right? So rise over run, and I'm going to have to put that in. Notice you can do a negative value or a positive value for that initial velocity. And when you think you have it, you hit ready. It'll move it and show you your movement, and then it'll see if it actually made it within. All right, so that's how we do this one. The last thing you guys need to know. So I'm going to include this this website as well, a link to this website, but it's a two-step process. 1, 2, okay? It's how you take a screenshot on a Chromebook. Basically, you hold your control button, which is down there, and then you press this, looks like a square with 2 lines to the right of it, okay? So you hold that one while pressing that one, and then bada bing, bada bang. Move to the next one. Oh, look, it takes one. And that's what it's showing you. It'll show up in the bottom right-hand corner saying you've taken this and it's saved to your file app, okay? You all have a file app. Know that little blue icon? That's how you get to your files. You might want to go in afterwards and rename it so you can remember what it was that you did, especially if you're taking a lot of screenshots. Because remember, you're going to need to take one of each world of it being completed, but you also might need to take multiples of the world because they tend to close off. I'll explain that here. So what I mean is, if you're working on this and you've completed 1, 2, and 3 but get called away, you might want to go ahead and take a screenshot to show that you've at least done that, because if you come back and it has them all locked again, you might not want to carry on. You might want to try to get all of them, especially if you're going for the extra credit, but you might want to start over here and go 1, 2, 3 and get as many as you can. But I would take a screenshot every time and I would label it so that you have some idea that you're doing this. If you can play it through in one go, that's fine. Some people can't. Play what you can, take a screenshot. Play what you can, take a screenshot. Remember, you can start for free on each row, but you need to go about halfway through on every row to show that you've attempted all of these, okay? That's how you're gonna get your grade. It's the only way to get 100. You can do all of them, get extra credit. You can do all the way to world 3, and you'll get extra credit, okay?